Will Smith has not taken kindly to Chris Rock for making a mockery of him not only once, but twice. First, he made fun of his wife's disease with millions watching. Now he said this.
Ow! I watch Emancipation just to see him get whooped.
Chris has always had a penchant for saying outrageous things, but this might just take the cake. No wonder Will is absolutely furious with him.
Massa! Hit him again! You missed the spot, Massa! You missed!
Oh boy, did Chris Rock bring the heat in his latest Netflix special, Selective Outrage. He went straight for the elephant in the room and didn't hold back. But he did save the juiciest bit for the grand finale. In a brilliant move, Chris kicked off the show by slyly alluding to the scandalous Will Smith Oscar slap that had everyone talking after the 2022 Academy Awards. You could practically feel the tension in the air as he dropped the hint, but that was just the beginning of what was to come. He chided how he has to be careful with his jokes, saying he didn't want to offend anybody because you never know what might happen. I gotta watch what I say, he added. You know, anybody that says words heard has never been punched in the face. He also had some interesting allegations about Will.
Practices selective outrage.
Ever since the slap, everyone and their grandma has chimed in on the drama, from Tiffany Haddish to Jimmy Kimmel. Eddie Murphy even brought it up during his Golden Globes acceptance speech. But as it turns out, Chris has been keeping mum about the whole ordeal on his recent comedy tour until now. That's right, folks, during his Netflix live event, Chris finally spilled the beans about what went down on that fateful Oscars stage. And let me tell you, he did it in true Chris Rock fashion, with all the wit, humor, and bite that we've come to expect from the legendary comedian. While talking about Snoop Dogg, he couldn't resist taking a jab at Smith, saying, "I do not need another rapper mad at me," before hilariously dubbing him Suge Smith, a clear nod to Suge Knight, the infamous rap mogul who was convicted of murder in 2018. Ouchie. But that's not all. Chris went on to share some juicy details about the infamous slap, revealing, "People asked me if it hurt. Yes, that ass hurt. I got hit so hard, I heard summertime ringing in my ears." And just when you thought it couldn't get any better, Chris compared his own physique to Smith's, quipping, "He's in movies with his shirt off. If I'm in a movie getting open heart surgery, I got on a sweater." But it wasn't all fun and games. Chris also called out Smith's Selective Outrage, the very same title of his Netflix special, suggesting that Smith only speaks out when it suits his own ideology. And in a nod to rumors of Jada Pinkett Smith's alleged affair with a family friend, Chris added, "I didn't have any entanglements." Oh snap, things just got real.
And for people that don't know, and everybody know, Wilson and his wife was fucking her son's friend, okay?
So, you remember back in July 2020 when Jada Pinkett Smith revealed on her Red Table Talk show that she had an entanglement with August Alsina while she and Will were on a break. Yeah, Chris Rock remembers too. In his latest comedy special, he couldn't resist joking about it. "We all been cheated on. Everybody in this industry has been cheated on." Rock quipped, "None of us have ever been interviewed by the person that cheated on us on television. None of us. Why the F would you do that, S? She hurt him way more than he hurt me? Okay." In March 2022, Smith shut down speculation that there was cheating in his relationship. There's never been infidelity in our marriage," the Academy Award winner said on CBS Sunday Morning, noting that the duo talk about everything with one another. "And we have never surprised one another with anything ever." The King Richard star also opened up about coming to terms with his marriage being a topic of conversation. "I have decided that chatter about my life can be of a benefit to people," he added. "I think that chatter is the first stage to having a real conversation and being able to truly explore if some of the things in your heart are loving or poisonous." Chris Rock also just couldn't hold back his thoughts on Jada Pinkett Smith's Red Table Talk on Facebook Watch. He couldn't believe that the two talented people he knew would stoop so low to air out their dirty laundry on the internet. Like, come on guys. But the real kicker, Chris claimed that Jada had made things difficult for her husband way more than she ever hurt Chris, because it wasn't Chris that was hurt after the infamous slap. It was Will, who had to endure endless vitriol from his peers and the internet after standing up for Jada.
Everybody called that man a bitch. Fucking Charlemagne called him a bitch, and the Breakfast Club called him a bitch, and The View, and...
But wait, there's more. Chris wanted to set the record straight. He had no beef with Will. It was Jada who really ticked him off. Chris claimed that Jada actually suggested that he quit his job because Will wasn't nominated for concussion. Can you believe it? So, Chris did what he does best and cracked the G.I. Jane joke about her. But apparently, that's all it takes to start a war, since Jada didn't take it very well, making Will get up and slap him. In the end, Chris just wanted to make one thing clear: he's not the one picking on Jada. She started this whole thing, nobody else. However, Chris had something very odd to say about Will Smith. He expressed his love for the Oscar winner and how he had always been a fan. but he finished it off with something that seemed more like he was getting things off his chest than a comedic skit. Perhaps Chris said more about his personal feelings here than he actually wanted to. He said, "I love Will Smith my whole life." Rock continued, "I have rooted for Will Smith my whole life. I rooted for this and now I watch Emancipation just to see him get whooped." This comment has been widely shared over the past few days, and it appears that the majority of people have turned against Chris Rock as a result. It's been a while since the slap, and many people have voiced their displeasure with Chris in that time, with some even suggesting harshly that he may have deserved it. Even more, people are complaining now that they know about this new joke that might or might not make it into the special, depending on whether or not he really fits it in. Apparently, some people think he's going too far in one direction, and many people think it's cringeworthy that he's still capitalizing on the nasty event a year later. Still, Chris keeps marching on, and so does Netflix. Smith has publicly apologized for his outburst at last year's Oscars and has since resigned from the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, which has prohibited him from attending its events for the next decade. In June, on an edition of Red Table Talk, Jada discussed the incident at the Oscars, saying, "Deepest hope is that these two intelligent, capable men have an opportunity to heal, talk this out, and reconcile." On his November press tour for Emancipation, Smith also discussed the Academy Awards, including an emotional chat with Trevor Noah on The Daily Show. While talking with Trevor Noah, Will said that was a horrific night, as you can imagine. There's many nuances and complexities to it. But at the end of the day, I lost it, Smith continued, "I was going through something that night, Not that justifies my behavior at all. It was a lot of things. It was the little boy that watched his father beat up his mother, All of that just bubbled up in that moment. That is not who I want to be." Later in July, Smith posted an online video apology stating that he had reached out to Rock and providing more context for what had happened that night. He said in his video, "I've reached out to Chris and the message that came back is that he's not ready to talk. And when he is, he will reach out. So I will say to you, Chris, I apologize to you. My behavior was unacceptable, and I'm here whenever you're ready to talk." Clearly, Chris Rock hadn't quite accepted Will's apology because it sounded like he was still very hurt about the whole situation in his Netflix special To Me. As it turns out, the Academy actually invited Chris Rock to host the Oscars in 2023, but Chris Rock has reportedly turned down the opportunity to host the 2023 Oscars ceremony. According to the Arizona Republic, while performing on his sold-out stand-up tour in Phoenix, Rock revealed that the Academy had approached him to take on the hosting gig, but he politely declined. It seems that Rock is still feeling the burn from the infamous Will Smith slap incident of 2022, as he went on to compare a potential Oscars return to a grisly crime scene. It's like asking Nicole Brown Simpson to go back to the restaurant where she left her glasses the night she was murdered, he quipped to the audience. So, it looks like we'll have to wait and see who the Academy selects to host the 2023 Oscars. But if you were hoping to see Rock back in the hot seat, it looks like that ship has sailed. At least for now. That's all for the video, folks. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.